Welcome, my friends, to this beautiful adventure. This is the highest round in BTD Battles Mobile. It gets ridiculously intense, but before we get there, we have to talk about how we got there. So let's start at the very beginning. We're going to talk about the map, we're going to talk about our towers, we're going to talk about some tips and tricks, and how maybe you can do a little bit better in your late game walkthroughs or run-throughs as well. I must also mention that this game is planned. We planned to go late game, so we chose certain towers and chose this map because we wanted to go to the highest round that we could. So first of all, let's talk about the map. I think with any sort of reasonable understanding of the game, you probably know that Battle Park is one of the best maps to go late game. It's extremely long, and on top of that, you get the same balloons going over the exact same spot quite a few times, so you can get a lot of towers that do grouped popping towers do tons of damage. So let's talk about the 4 towers down in the bottom there. First of all, the Ice Tower. What is good about the Ice Tower? Not that much, except for the fact that you can power up your temple a little bit more with the Ice Tower, and you can use an Arctic Wind in the very back to stop any sort of random ceramics that might be trying to leak through. But the main thing is actually using the 2-4 Ice Tower actually affects the MOABs, which not that many people know. So you can actually slow down the Zone My Gods and everything quite a bit using 2-4 Ice Tower ability, so you guys are going to see us spamming that quite a bit in the late game. Moving on to the Mortar. The Mortar is an extremely effective tower because you also have MOAB stunning power, so we can stop these, or at least stun these Oh My Gods with 2-4 Mortar. And on top of that, he also can be sacrificed to the temple to make the temple extremely strong. You need either a cannon or a mortar to sacrifice into the temple. They are the most important towers to sacrifice, by far, and you should sacrifice at least $30,000 into them as well, to make them the most powerful tower you can get. Then, of course, the Super Monkey. We know that the Super Monkey is a pertinent tower to go late game, so we're going to use the Super Monkey over here, and we're going to get mostly temples, and we might mix in a few technological terrors. The technological terrors are kind of cool because not only do they have popping power, pretty extreme popping power, they can also use their insta-kill ability, which doesn't actually insta-kill a lot of things, but it does do hefty damage to MOAB-class balloons, which is frickin' amazing. And then we have our 4th tower, which is seemingly kind of funky, right? Why would we go for a helicopter? What? Well, this is the trickiest part of them all. We're going to be using a 2-4 helicopter to do the temple moving glitch, where we're going to move temples even closer together than what they're allowed to do. So maybe you can think of it as a glitch, maybe you can think of it as an exploit, maybe you can think of it as part of the game. Either, whatever way you want to think about it, we used what is available into the game to go to the highest round that we can. So a little bit later on, you guys are going to see some pretty intense helicopter action. Also, you're noticing that I'm finally getting my my 2-4 helicopters up. Am I going to start moving stuff already? No, it's for the lives. For the lives. The lives are extremely important. So let's take a little bit of break over here and stop talking about the game for a little bit. And instead, I want to talk about something else. Just kind of fun. Let's talk about board games, right? So first of all, what is my favorite board game? I've really been getting into Settlers of Catan recently. That has been one of my favorite games. It's a very strategic game, and that's why I think I like it. But I used to love Monopoly and any sort of other strategy games. There was this game called Stratego, which if you guys haven't played Stratego, it's basically like a version of chess, but it's a lot more... I think it's more strategic than chess. Chess is more of a mind game. You have to be smarter than your opponent and think ahead. But Stratego is more of a strategic game where you get to put things in certain spots and you kind of just overwhelm your opponent. I don't know. I just always loved strategy games my entire life. And lately, Settlers of Catan has been the game that I've really been getting into. But nonetheless, we must push on. We must get even stronger. We must start building our ridiculously awesome temples. Well, at least he's got a temple on his side already. You're also noticing, whoa, Chris, you're hacking. Chris, stop hacking, dude. You got 631 lives. Dude, what are you doing, man? You're such a cheater. No, actually I'm not. I'm not a cheater. The 2-4 helicopter ability drops either cash or lives, and it usually switches off. At least I think so. So, you can see me dropping a big chunk of those crates and just slurping up all of these delicious lives. Oh, it feels so good to just get them slurped in, sucked into my heart. Oh, yes. We've got almost 1,000 lives already. But sadly, the rounds are getting difficult. We're already jumping into round 50, and now every few seconds here, we're going to be jumping up 10 rounds. We're going to be jumping up extreme difficulty levels. And we already have full-on Oh My Gods coming out. Oh my god, this is ridiculous. So you're noticing us trying to get all of our temples set up, and it looks kind of funky, honestly. If you can see it at all, it looks kind of funky. But basically, I want to explain what I was doing with my 2-4 helicopters. I was building a super monkey in the very bottom left corner and trying to get $30,000 worth of ice and $30,000 worth of mortars within range. Now, whenever you use the 2-4 helicopter ability to move things, it gets kind of hard to do. So, what you have to do it as fast as possible and kind of rely a little bit on lag. Basically, you move it, then you click on the sun god, and then you press upgrade really, really quick. And if you keep the helicopters far enough away, you can actually do a really good job of moving temples closer together. So you can notice in the top left corner of the screen, it's not just one temple up there. It's actually quite a few. It's almost like 5 or 6 temples, but we're running out of time. It takes a lot of time to do this and a lot of money to do all of this stuff. So even with our 9,000 or almost 10,000 eco, we don't have enough time to do it. And also, it doesn't always work to pick up these temples. There, we did a really good job picking that one up, but it doesn't always work. It's kind of tough. You have to have very, very fast reaction fingers. And Candyson is having a big issue trying to get his temples really, really close together. But overall, he's doing a pretty solid job. But now we must start getting ready for the end game. We're already moving on to round 100, one of the highest rounds we have ever seen in BTD battles. Another thing that I want to mention is that people might have gotten higher rounds than the round that we got to today, but not with the current patch. Ever since bloonchippers have been nerfed, it's been really, really hard to get to a high round, because now whenever you have a Oh My God or a BFB get slurped up into a bloonchipper, they don't release them back in the exact same spot. Now they move 15% further into the map. So, that being said, bloonchippers aren't as good anymore. You can't use the bloonchippers very effectively. So instead, we decided to go for these helicopters. And I can't really think of any other towers that might be really, really effective against these guys. But overall, oh man, we're already on round 110. We're just going to keep on pushing forward. Nobody's going to stop us now. We are the juggernauts of doom, stopping every single bloon in here. And as you can tell, once the Oh My Gods get past a little spot, as soon as the Oh My God gets popped, it's pretty much an instantaneous BFBs, Moabs, boom, dead. Like the BFBs and the Moabs, they have almost no health. The Oh My Gods are the biggest problem. They just get so much more health. So if anything's going to kill you, it's going to be the Oh My God layer. So we're starting to get ready to use a lot of our towers completely effectively. By round 111, we had our defense not completely set up, but by around 115, we're almost completely set up. We've got a bunch of abilities. We've got at least 3 or 4 ice towers. We've got at least 3 mortars over here, up to 2-4, and we've got a bunch of technological terrors. A bunch of them. I think there was about 15 or 16 technological terrors, and we're trying to pack these guys up as close as possible. And we are doing it. We are surviving against these guys. We got to use our abilities extremely smart as well. We can't just be spamming abilities left and right. No, we have to plan them out. You can't. It's not good to spam them all at once. You got to mix them up and just do one here, one there, one here, one there, and that's going to be the best way to get the best popping power out of your towers. That being said, though, we're already on round 120, and now we are on regular speed. So you guys are seeing exactly what I was seeing when I was playing this game. You can tell Candyson is having a lot more issues with his stuff than me, but he is still handling them, at least for now. These Moabs are so hard for him to pop, even with all those technological terrors insta-killing a lot of these balloons, or at least doing damage to them. No, they're getting all the way to the very end. Could 120 be the final round that we have ever gotten to? The highest round in BTD Battles Mobile that has ever been reached. And it looks like, no, it will not be the highest round. We're going to keep on pushing forward even further. This is the Bloons World War III. I don't know what World War III is going to be fought with, but World War IV will be fought with sticks and stones. I did pretty bad with that quote, but I don't know, I like that quote. Because honestly, if you ever thought about World War III, it would be extremely scary. It would probably be a nuke fest. I really hope that it doesn't happen, and I think that humans would want to live enough that they wouldn't want to nuke the entire planet, but mutual destruction is definitely not a good thing, for sure. So I hope that never happens. So here we go. We're still on round 120, but we have to keep on pushing forward, guys. All we have to do is make it to round 121, and we've technically beaten round 120, even if there's balloons on the screen, because that's the way the rounds work. They don't automatically start once you kill all the balloons. They just wait until you exceed the time limit for that round. And when you're slowing these guys down an extreme amount, using all these Arctic Winds and all these mortar abilities and everything, it gives you more time to pop them, but it also means there's going to be balloons coming out while you already have balloons on the screen from the previous round. So it definitely gets even more intense as you get later and later on in this game. And he's still using those abilities. As you can tell on my screen, we're doing a much better job. And you know what? It might just be possible to get a few rounds higher. But at the moment, round 121 is our current record. Thank you for coming on the adventure with me. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions, of course, put them down in the comments down there. I'd really appreciate that. And if you wanted to, I would really appreciate if you press the like button for me. It just makes me feel good and juicy on the inside when you guys do that for me. And have a super duper delicious day.